Welcome to Simply Mindful Yoga. I'm Carrie, and here we're going to explore the roots of yoga, the history, and the tradition. We're going to do this by breaking down each posture or asana, including the stories behind them, and an accessible way for everybody to do each posture. So grab a seat, some comfy clothes, and a drink, and join us. We're so glad you're here. Welcome to Simply Mindful Yoga. In another video, we discussed the story behind Downward Dog, and today I'm going to show you how to do it. If you notice, my mat is sideways today so that I can show you what you look like from the side. And as again, I've said before, the postures are not aesthetic. They are functional, which means it's supposed to feel a certain way in your body, not look a certain way to the observer. So with that being said, Downward Dog is a transition pose. It can be a resting pose, but it is a posture that has a form and a function. And as we talked about in child's pose, where there's a balance of effort and ease, the same with this. There are parts of you that are engaged and there are parts of you that are at ease. So let's get into it. This is often a landing posture for a sun salutation or when you flow through your vinyasa, which I will show you in another video, and pardon me while I itch. So I'm gonna get onto my mat, and you can come to Downward Dog from standing, from a plank, from a tabletop. So I'm gonna first show you what it looks like, and then I'm gonna show you how you get into it. So usually, if you're in a tabletop, your wrists are underneath your shoulders. For Downward Dog, you want to put your palm, like one palm print forward of that. Fingers spread. The pads of your fingers can be gripping the mat. You can see my toes are tucked. And I engage my lower core, my lower abdomen. I can pull my navel to my spine and then lift my hips up and back. I might have to shift a little forward, bend my knees, and the goal here is that the front part of you is on an angle in a straight line. Let me see. So like that. My heels are not touching the ground. They can, but it's more important. So if I bend my knees, shift my hips up a little, and see my heels are not touching, because if they touch, then that changes the position of my back. So this is Down Dog. My lower core is engaged. I am gripping onto the mat with my finger pads. My hips are up. There's a slight bend in my knees. If you can reach your heels down, that's great. If not, you don't have to. So, what can we do if that's not working in our bodies? You can grab some blocks if you have them. Sometimes this can be a little hard on our wrists. Is it easier? See, I'm bending my knees, shifting my hips up. Is that easier for you? Is that more comfortable? Does that help you with your ease? And you notice It's my front body that's on the angle, not my back body. I am not in a perfect triangle because it's from my head to my pelvis that's most important. I can walk my legs back and get more of an angle. But see, this might be a little easier on your wrists if you have your hands on some blocks. You can also come to puppy pose. Actually, this might be dolphin. But putting your forearms down, that's another way to do it. You can do this. So, if we're in a tabletop and they say, okay, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and push your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. You can float forward to plank and back into dog. Then, other things, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, kick up, my core is engaged. There is a stretch in my hamstrings. I should probably turn my head this way too, because that's hard on my neck right now, looking at the camera. But you can look back at your feet. Sometimes they'll have you look under one shoulder, look under the other shoulder, getting stretches. Come down to my knees. Roll out your wrists. That is downward facing dog. Adho mukha svanasana. If you have questions, if you want to see other variations, let me know. Also, let me know what other questions you have about different postures. I want to acknowledge a lot of the information I got on downward facing dog and its history came from a book called Beyond the Asanas, and you can Google that. Until next time, the light and humanity in me honors the light and the humanity in you. Namaste.